fun begins.
Get those wonderful toys.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good night. I am here, I'm on time. Hate to keep you guys waiting, but I am, I believe, on time. I got a new microphone, so hopefully I sound a little bit better. What do you guys think? Hopefully you can hear me right now. It looks like it's working. Spent a couple hours the other day fine-tuning this thing. So hopefully I sound a lot better than I did last time. I was pretty upset in how the last one turned out. Thank you guys for sticking through that with me. I hope I have solved the problem. Let me know if you could hear me out there. I'm hoping you can. Yo. Let's see. Let me jump in the comments here. I'm at the bottom. Sound is smooth. Good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bjorn. Let me go. I'm going to go to the top now. Make sure I give a shout out to everybody. Got Bjorn. What's going on? Oh, I can't say that one. Bjorn. Gabberfluben. Schlup. Mahana. Ian. Shout out to Ian. Left some comments today. Thanks for watching my videos today, Ian. Let's see. Isn't it bad for N1? Oh, I'm missing something here. Online shop over here. It has the TVC X-Wing Pilot 4-pack for 20 bucks. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, that is worth it. It's $5 a figure. That's really good. Let's see. Under 50 pounds for the E-Wing, which should be great if the cockpit thing didn't bother me. Yeah, E-Wing's nice. It's not perfect, though. Let's see. I see Bob. Hey, Bob. Hello, all. Hello, Bob. Thanks for coming. Gonna catch your show a little bit later tonight. I saw it looked like a good one. You had the whole WMC crew on. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm way behind here. Jeff Jabalong, how you doing? Tech 489, welcome. Yo. Hairdryer works too. Oh, pop and swap. Yeah. This microphone sounds clean. Thank you. I got it to match the camera. I think that might have been one of the problems last time. They were different. You know, it's like you kind of have to stay in the same circle. So I got the microphone to match the camera. So hopefully it's like in sync. It's in sync. Of course, it took me a long time to get it all set up because I don't know what I'm doing. But I am back. Hiya. You know, I read that, Jeff. I said, Hiya Toys. Hiya, Ian, Bob, Tech, Bjorn. Howdy. Hello, everyone. All right. So I ran through that. Thank you guys so much for coming. I do appreciate it. Pinker. Hey, Pinker just showed up. Pinker, welcome to the party, pal. Thank you. I think I got a good show for you tonight. Not a lot of news. But there still was some. Of course, I'll run through it. We'll have time if I forget anything at the end or I miss something that you want to talk about. Just let me know, and we will get that all set up. And we'll go through it all. We'll have time. I'll stay here as long as I can. As long as we have something to talk about, I'm going to hang out. So let's see. The last 2 weeks. So last 2 weeks I was pretty busy. I only got 2 videos out, but I kind of had to pick, right? I only had a little bit of time, so I had to say, well, what do I want to make a video on? What do I want to talk about? So I decided to talk about the Joy Toy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles April O'Neil figure and the Hiya Toys G.I. Joe Cobra Trooper. So 2 really good figures. And I hope if you have time that you'll check those videos out. I was going to do some Star Wars videos, and I just I didn't have the time. You know, I just didn't have the time to do as many videos as I wanted to do. And, you know, it's getting darker now, light's not as well, and it just, you know, life is catching up with me. But I hope to do a couple more videos in the next couple days. Definitely going to do a haul video because we are now in November. So October is behind us. Hope you guys had a good Halloween. I don't know if you guys celebrate that, but hope you had a good Halloween. What else? What else? We're going to do a haul video. And then I've been wanting to do a video on it's not much, but it's like some modifications, some mods that I've been doing to some of my figures, from tips and hints of other people that I've seen on ToyTube here. And I thought I'd do a video on some of those things, just a real brief video, share some things that I learned, and maybe help someone out, and maybe someone can teach me something in the comments. I know a lot of you guys are great customizers, so probably do that video. And then I'm not quite sure. Hopefully I get some more time. You know, time is, we're getting to the end of the year, and you know, Christmas is coming, and just things happening. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. I had a tree fell on my house, a big tree, very expensive to fix, to get the tree off the house. It was a big thing. So I just haven't had time. You know, real life keeps getting in the way, but I'm trying to do as many videos as I can. And I hope to have them up here soon. Let's see, what did I miss here? Did you guys pre-order Stranger from the Acolyte? Yes, I did. We're going to talk about that one, Tech. Yeah, I did order that one. And I actually got the visual guide to the Acolyte show. I really like those visual guides. They kind of break down the parts and pieces and the species. Even though I've mentioned this many times, I didn't really care for that show. But I did like the design of some of those things, like the Stranger. So I did get that book this week, actually. It was on Amazon for like $8 or $10, something like that. And then about 45 minutes here, about maybe an hour before I just came on, about an hour ago, I got my Beasts of the Cyberzoic, or the Cyberzoic Kickstarter, like half of that order showed up at my door, which early, because it had given me tracking that it was going to come tomorrow. So I've got some of that over here. If you guys are interested, I'll show you what showed up today. I've barely had a chance to look at it because I was getting ready for this show. Oh, Cammy, welcome. Cammy, I haven't seen you in a long time. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so got that. Maybe we could talk about that a little bit. But I thought the topic today, and I know these guys are on right now, I think they're still on, is I wanted to talk a little bit Star Wars. I wanted to talk, I hope the topic, and it's loose. If we don't want to talk about this, if it only takes 5 minutes and we move on, that's fine. I thought we'd talk a little bit about the last figure standing. What would you call it? It's not a tournament. Competition. It's not even a competition. It's a vote. It's a popular vote. But for the Star Wars, the TBC guys, the last figure standing. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys are participating. I can explain it when we get to it, but that was what I thought we'd talk about here at the end after we get through the news. From BBTS, no, this was directly from the Kickstarter. If you're asking me about the Cyberzoic stuff, this was directly from the Kickstarter. This was, I guess, what they had. There's still several figures that I didn't get, but this was like the big things, because I didn't get that many dinosaurs. I actually got one dinosaur. Let's see here. Yeah, the figures from the Acolyte are good, even if the show wasn't. Still need Jekki. Yeah, they were. The figures are really good. The figures are really good, especially the Jedi, right? And the Stranger. We'll talk about the Stranger. I'm glad I caught the show. I'm glad you're here. Haven't talked to you in a while in the comments. Thank you for coming. Definitely Bob and Kalneka. Yeah, Kalneka too. Yeah. She got chopped up. Yeah. Yeah, she's in that visual guide. I haven't read it yet. I kind of flipped through it. But yeah, each character, they talk about each one and their outfits and their lightsabers, and I could pull it out if you guys want to take a look at it. I'll show you a couple pictures from it. But it's like, I think it's only like 10 or 12 bucks now. I can't quite remember because I got it on the Prime deal thing. So it was a little bit cheaper. But yeah, I like the designs in the Acolyte. I like the ship designs. I like the designs of some, like the outfits and the clothes. The little droid. There was a lot of, those are the type of things I try to take, the positive from it, what I liked. Story, yeah, not so much, but everything else I pretty much did like. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the news. We're going to talk about the last figure standing if we want to. And so I'm going to put down my little coffee there. Let's get to the news. All right, so we've got to kind of, let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger. You know what I was thinking, because I got a new little setup here. I was trying to make it better for me and of course for you guys. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to this, and I'm going to do this like this. I'm just moving some things around here in the background. Shouldn't affect anything that you guys are looking at. Oh yeah, that's better. I think that's better. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Let me know what you think. What do you like, that one, or do you prefer that one? Big one or small one? How's that? So let me move this too. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better, I think. It's kind of hard to tell. There we go. Okay. I hated the show, but the figures were well done. Yes, they were. Looks like no more O-rings. Interesting observation. Yeah, so Rise of Nexus, guys, I'm sad. I wanted this to go through. I did drop, I was going to drop about 50 bucks on this one. I put in for 30 something, and then I was going to add a figure on after. No small amount there. I mean, look, they had 222 backers, $43,000, guys. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. The goal, though, was 60, so we didn't get it through. It's unfortunate. I thought the figures looked pretty good. I always want to support these guys. Hopefully they're going to run it back and maybe adjust it in some way. We saw this happen with 30 and 25. Malcolm, was it Malcolm or Chad? When he ran it back, he looked at it, he came back, he made it better than ever. It went through the second time. I'm hoping that that's what will happen with these guys. I think his name was Carlos, right? I think Bob and Wilhelm had him on. It is a shame, Bob. It is a shame. But that is no small amount. Like, they should be proud of themselves. I know it didn't go through, but $43,000, guys, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But they needed 60, and it's, maybe, I don't know the behind the scenes part, but maybe 60 was a little too ambitious. Because $43,000 is no small, amount. Especially giving, what Tech's kind of saying, no more O-rings. There was a lot of O-ring Kickstarters before them that went through. Maybe the market's too flooded. Maybe people are just tighter right now with their finances. Maybe they're O-ringed out, right? There could be a lot of reasons, but 43,222 backers. That's a lot of backers. I hope they come back and try it again, and I will support them again when they do. It's too bad. I hope they don't, get disheartened, because I'd like to see them succeed, just like I want to see all these guys, do well. So hopefully they come back. It was, I thought that the figures looked pretty good. I just, I'm not a big O-ring guy. I've already supported several of the other O-ring guys, the other Kickstarters, and most of them have not fulfilled yet. I got an update from like Call Sign Longbow, or one of them this about a week or so ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's been about 2 years. A lot of them, a lot of them about 2 years old and haven't fulfilled yet. And that might be another reason, might not have anything to do with Rise of Nexus. People might go, you know what? I still haven't got those other ones. Last time I did an O-ring, I'm still waiting 2 years later. You just never know. You never know what motivates people. Um, but I hope they come back. The figures looked good. I wanted a couple of them. I think once the previous O-ring Kickstarters actually fulfilled, they may be another O-ring. Yeah, I think so too. Once people get them in hand and they see, wow, these are really good, it touches that nostalgia, in our hearts, that the guys that still love the O-ring stuff, and maybe it'll come back. I hope it does. I think they mentioned something about trying again, next year. And I guess, along the same lines, shout out to Marvin if he's out there. The Edge, this was the one I was really, behind. I just like I mentioned in the last live stream, when the Nexus didn't go through, I took that $50 that I was going to give to them and I put it in my pledge to the Edge, and my pledge got all the way up to $200, guys. So I was, I did all I could, for on my side, and he got up to over 11,000. So again, that's not a small amount of money. 94 backers. Marvin said in the email that he sent, he was going to try again, I think next summer. But in the meantime, he was going to launch another Kickstarter for the Edge comic book. I think the volume 3 or the 3rd trade. And I'm going to back it. I really like Marvin. I hope he doesn't get disheartened, just like Carlos and the Rise of Nexus guys. I hope that they come back again and they just fine tune it, just figure out a way to get it through. He was pretty close here, guys. He was only 4,000 from hitting goal, and it's sad because we could have got we could have got Loose Collector involved in 118. We could have got a brand new line in 118, and Comics Borough could have become a player at 118. So hopefully he comes back, he tries again, and he just fine tunes it and refines it, and we can get this over the top. I did read the comic book. I know Bob got it. Marvin was kind enough to send us the first issue of the Edge comic book, and it was really good. I have to admit, it was pretty good. The art was good. The story was good. A lot of action. Just like the kind of story that I want to read. And I'm going to back his next Kickstarter. I'm tempted to go and buy the other ones, the trades right now, but I think he's probably going to offer them like this Kickstarter in that next Kickstarter. So maybe to help boost it, I'm going to wait, and then I'll buy those trades in that Kickstarter to help boost the numbers. But the comic was pretty good. So if you guys are interested at all, it was pretty good. And it's too bad, after reading it, I think what was the next figure was the Revenant. Was that his name? I think it was the Revenant. He was kind of the main bad guy. He was the next figure that we didn't get to. Would have been cool to get him as well. But it was a good story. It was a pretty good story. Bjorn, I'm not the biggest O-ring guy. I understand. Yeah, I'm not either. But I do like them. I do enjoy them. Hey guys, Brian, how are you? Howdy. Welcome to the party. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, this one was unsuccessful, but I hope Marvin comes back. You got to do a lessons learned type thing, and see what worked, what didn't. I'm just disappointed. I really wanted this figure, and I guess next summer we'll have a second chance. So I hope you guys will support it. If you did this time, thank you. But we gotta try again. We're not quitters over here. We're not quitters. We just keep going. We don't stop. We don't quit. All right. So that's, kind of what didn't fund, which takes me to this one as a quick check-in. Because my suspicion is this is not going to fund as well. Plenty of time. I took the screenshot. I took this, a couple hours ago. I'm not quite sure. I was preparing these slides maybe about 2 or 3 hours ago, just to try to get the latest update here. And we're just over 1,000 backers, 22 days left. Not looking good, but we spent a lot of time on this 2 weeks ago as the topic of the show. This was a major part of it. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, but we are going to keep monitoring it. We are going to keep watching it. And by some miracle, it jumps a few thousand people in 2 weeks. It's possible, right? Anything's possible. Believe it, conceive it, believe it. But it's not looking good for the Tron HasLab. Did any of you guys have a change of heart and back this? That HasLab will fail. They should have just released them normally. I agree. 100% agree. I have a feeling that none of you did, because that number is, I don't know what I had it 2 weeks ago. It was just over 1,000, I think. It has not moved much. It would take a miracle. It would, a Hail Mary, wouldn't it? Only a few older guys even care about Tron. Yeah. All right, so we'll keep an eye on it. Of course, I want it to succeed, just like I wanted those other Kickstarters. Even though this is a multi-billion-dollar company that probably shouldn't be funding, action figures this way. Unlike Marvin, unlike Carlos, but I do want it to go through. But I don't, I don't think it has any chance really. Pass for me. Yep. Some of those older guys have never even seen it. Yeah, it's pretty old. I have never seen the new ones. The original I watched long time ago. Don't remember much about it. As much as I want those Tron figures, I don't want them at the price. Yeah, me either. All right, so let's not dwell too much on that. Let's jump into some of the good stuff, right? Some of the news, the real news here, and we'll start here. So it looks like the Hasbro guys revealed the wave, and these have already gone out for pre-order. I think it was Tech. Somebody mentioned, did you get the Stranger? Did you pre-order? So these guys are all up on pre-order now. This is a good figure. I do really like this figure. I think it's pretty good. It's one of the best Darth Mauls out there. But if you're not a Clone Wars guy, if you never watched the cartoons, you're probably like, what's going on here? But it is a good figure. I think the most and this is a great card back, a great image. It looks really good. I think the thing that's most intriguing to me about this though is Maul Shadow Lord, the cartoon. That Maul Shadow Lord title is cool. Gets me excited. Yeah, we're like connected, Jeff. Yeah, that the most exciting thing to me about this is the new show. There's going to be a new show, a new animated show based on Darth Maul. That's awesome. Who knows what, hopefully we'll get more figures from this show, not knowing, I don't even know what the show's going to be, who's going to be in it. But that's the most interesting thing to me. It kind of makes sense though, right? Because the show's called Maul Shadow Lord. Disney has been very secretive about releasing figures on time before the show or even right at the time of the show. But knowing the show's called Maul Shadow Lord and they already had the figure, there it is. We're going to actually get one before the show or right on time like it used to be when we were kids. That's the most intriguing thing to me about this figure. And if you missed this figure before, here's your chance to get it. And like I said, I think it is a really good figure. Darth Maul, it doesn't have the newest hips, but they're still really good. Rocker ankle, very, very good figure. You can still get the figure for cheap. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. It seems like a little bit of a filler figure, and trying to get the mint on card guys and the completionist, forcing them to buy this in order to keep that going, when the figure is already out on a different card back right now and on sale in a lot of places. Not my favorite rendition of Maul. Okay, it is. This is probably my favorite rendition. That card back is pretty amazing. It is. It is. The card backs, because I already have the figure, it's the best thing about it to me. Don't hold your breath on new figures from that show. I know you can't. You can't. You're bound for disappointment, Bjorn, right? If this is probably the only one we're going to get from the show. And if we do, it'll be like this. It'll be a repack of Ahsoka, from the Clone Wars season 7 or season 8. Secretive, I was going with incompetence, but hey, oh yeah, you know, yeah, I mean, could go either way, right? I'm fine with this repack. Yeah, see, Audi, you're fine with it. Yeah, it's a good figure. It's a good figure, and if you just like the Bomb Vinden and the Jabba's guy, I forget his name now. Um, if you missed it, and here it is, and it's a good figure. So, and it'd be a good buck for customs too. But you're right. There's if you really just wanted this figure, you could probably find the Clone Wars one card back with that same figure on sale somewhere. A Savage Opress figure in TVC would be nice. Pretty sure he will be in the show. That would be cool. And didn't I think Black Series just got one, right? Or they're going to be getting one? Only if he's in flashbacks. Oh, okay. He could be though, right? He could be. Can't wait for the Opress. I'm more of a Sith Lord Maul guy. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this guy's out for pre-order. If you missed him, there's a chance. I like the figure. I don't need him though, and I didn't pre-order him because I already have a couple. So I did pass on this one. Darth Vader, Emperor's Wrath, also up for pre-order. This is another repack from the Anakin Vader sort of 3-pack that was on Hasbro Pulse for a while. Now he's single carded. I guess so. New card back. Figure's pretty much the same though. And again, for me, another pass because I do have that 3-pack, and like them all, I gotta save money somewhere. I'm not a completionist. I don't have every single figure, nor do I want every single figure. So for me, this is a pass. But if that 3-pack was too expensive for you, and you didn't want those figures that were in there, but you wanted this one, here is your chance to get it. Another reuse repack, new card back. This is a Hasbro thing. It's some people like this figure, some people need it, like them all. It's along the same lines as them all. Vader was an easy pass. Yep, me too. Another pass. Yep, it's funny. All the males of this wave are Sith. Yeah, that's true, huh? Yeah, they finally they're giving us bad guys now. I'll get this Vader. I don't have it. See, there you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly what they were hoping for, because that 3-pack was expensive. I can't remember how much it was, but it was really expensive. But the best figure in it was the Anakin, right? Or the Vader before he's... I can't even remember. I can't even remember what was in it. But this was not, the best one, I thought, in that 3-pack. The sort of Attack of the Clones, or I forgot what it was. I think he's still technically Vader, but before he got burned up on Mustafar. How about some Inquisitors? That would be great. But yeah, if this was an easy pass for me too, I did not get it. It looks pretty cool. This is a good Vader buck. But if you don't want the translucent head, he does have the arm, the hand you could take off. It does come with the lightning effects. It's not enough here for me. Good soft goods, but this isn't, this is one I don't need. I need more aliens and robots. Thank you. Yeah. I've only been in TVC for 4 years. Okay. Yeah, so you're probably a little light on Vaders. I think the other Vaders, though, that they've done recently, I say recently, right, in the last 4 or 5 years, I think they finally have perfected Vader. There's a couple definitive ones out there. And I think this is the definitive buck, but it's very scene specific with the lightning, the translucent head, and the chopped off hand. And so, but it's a really good figure. It's just very scene specific that I don't need. So this was a pass for me as well. like that Amazing Black Series Inquisitor they just got. Yeah, yeah. I need Darth Sion. Both Vader and Maul are long dead in my world's timeline, so if Maul turns up for sale, I may get him for some parts, especially those mechanized legs. Yeah, it would be a good buck for custom, the Darth Maul. So yeah, the Vader, they announced the Vader again, kind of a repack. But if you missed it, hey, well, pick it up. It's a good one. This was sort of the gem, right? This was the gem of the reveals lately. We've get Quimir. I forgot his name. Khmer. I don't know how to say that. The Stranger. Awesome card back, I think. Looks good. We didn't have to wait quite as long for this guy as we did Balin and Shin, did we? That was only a couple years. This is only going to be like a year. Still late to the party. Soft goods, extra head or helmeted head instead of a helmet fits over the head, so the proportion, the size is going to be good. This is, guys, the last year, he was in this last figure standing, which we're going to talk about, and the last, I think, March Madness. He did go pretty far in the fan polls. I have ideas for custom for this one. Darth Zippy. Oh, yeah, because of the mouth. Looks like a zipper. Khmer. Yeah, The Stranger. I'll get it right. I can never get it right on the moment. Again, I didn't really like the show, but I did like the design of this guy. And I've seen the helmet at GameStop, and it looked pretty cool. It did look pretty cool. But I don't really collect the helmets and the lightsabers and stuff, although it's crossed my mind. I just don't have the space. But here he is, and he looks, I've got to say, with the soft goods, we're going to talk about those legs. Don't worry, we're going to talk about the legs. But with the soft goods and the helmet and the saber, I think he looks pretty good. Ian says, I do want that one, but I've gotten this far into the year without paying retail price or above the figure. I'm not going to break the streak now. Yeah, and I wonder, will this one fall prey like the other Acolyte figures that seem to stick around for a long time? When they went on sale at Amazon, even though they were really good figures, the show, the lack of the popularity of the show really held them back. But they were really good figures, and I wonder, this guy, I feel like he might be immune to that because he's the big baddie. He's all black, he's got that helmet. I'm wondering if this one might be a little bit tougher to get, if you wait. Probably not. Like everything goes on clearance eventually. I wonder, because I'm even seeing the Balin and Shin now, and I'm like, those are great figures, and they're at one of the Walmarts I go to, there were several of them, which I was kind of surprised because they are such good figures. But it also might be how many they put in a case. But I'm wondering with this guy if he'll be a little bit more immune to that. I hate the Acolyte show, is terrible. I would never buy one of those figures. And then you go down there and you see this one, you go, wow, but I could use that helmet. Oh, and I can use that soft goods. Oh, and he's got a double bladed. Oh, I could use that. And then you go and you strip them, and you buy them anyways to make your own story with them, your own world. So you can see here, he's got the soft goods. He's got the extra head. He's got 2 lit sabers. He's got the hilt. Face, the likeness on the face looks pretty good. The hair, everything, that looks pretty good. I've got to admit, it looks pretty good. Here's the problem. Those legs are terrible. They look terrible, but you can hide it right by just keeping the soft goods on him. But I do not like how those legs came out. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I would hope. I know in the show, I was gonna say the movie, he does have like samurai pants, right? That's kind of how samurai kind of dressed, or like. Not ninja, because they usually had more tight fitting stuff, but I think it's kind of very samurai-ish. But it just doesn't translate well into plastic, I think, in this form. I need a couple of that helmet. Yeah, see, he's worth it almost just getting that helmet. Do you? I bet you do. I mean, it'll be interesting, and I'll wait for one of you guys to do it, Bjorn. I'm looking at you. Wait for you to do it. Is that ball joint in his waist? You know, when you pop that apart, boil and pop, can you just, you know, put a different pair of legs on him? That would solve the whole problem to me. I'm going to get him though, and I'm going to keep him like this, at least one of them. I grabbed a couple of them. I did pre-order a couple of these. Um, but I'll wait for someone else to do the experiment to pop him apart and see what legs, how big that ball joint is, what you can attach to this body. Because that would solve the whole problem to me. I have a fix for the legs, ideal for a Cossack custom. Okay. Would Tuscan Boba legs fit? Good possibility, huh? And they're black, right? And they're good. Yeah, and I wonder why they didn't use those legs. I mean, I guess the lower leg, right, is different, but the thigh is the same, or, you know, fairly the same. I'm okay with the legs because of the samurai outfit look. Yeah, they are based on a Yamamoto trousers, which are a samurai thing. Okay, yeah, that's what it looks like. I think I would have liked, you know, perfect world, they would have just gave him nice skinny legs, and the soft goods would have covered, just gone down, you know, like, I'll say like a dress, but like a dress. Because like right here, I think he looks fine. Can't see anything. Um, looks pretty good. He got the rocker ankles. It looks like they did away with the thigh swivel. Not sure why. I thought I saw Mr. Stevie made a comment like, "Oh, they couldn't do, or they didn't think they needed it because of how the hips work." Yeah, maybe. We'll see when we get him in hand. Rocker ankles, though, really important. Really important. If you're not going to give us that thigh swivel, you have to do the rocker ankle um, in order to get this pose here, to get his feet flat. And they gave it to him. So it looks like everything is here but that thigh swivel. It's just the legs look kind of chunky because of the outfit. Um, Bjorn says, "You can bet I'll be taking this one apart." All right, I'm okay. I can't wait for you to do that. I was gonna message you the other day, Bjorn, because I was taking apart the one of the Jod Na Woods, one of the skeleton crew, the Jude Law figure. And I was wondering what ball joint was in his waist, what I could attach to that, boil and pop, you know, without having to Dremel anything or cut anything. It's a good head sculpt in the helmet. It's awesome. Yeah, I think that's the strongest point. You know, the face looks just like the actor. That photo real technology that they're using looks great, like the Padme we talked about a couple weeks ago. And the helmet seems to be on point. A lot of detail in the helmet. Looks like a lot of paint apps in the helmet. Um, and I wonder if that's, you know, that maybe, you know, Mr. Stevie's not going to say, oh, the figure, you know, because they say they always spread out the cost in the waves. You know, they looked at that and said, hey, you know what? Look at the paint on this helmet. Cut out the thigh swivel, you know, and we'll repack a Darth Maul and we'll repack a Vader to get the cost to the wave down. But I think they did a pretty good job on this. I don't like those legs though, but I got a couple of them. I did pre-order this guy. The coat from the Jod figure is one of my accessory MVPs this year. Really cool. Yeah, but the arms, right? You gotta use the arms. Or are you? Well, I have to look. I'll have to see what you did with that, Ian. I have been looking at your October fig selections. I tried to like all of them on my Instagram when I saw them. I like that human head is not oversized. Yeah, that, and I think they finally figured it out to, you know, they didn't do that with the Agent Callus. It's a little too big. Is just give us the other head. Don't make it a real helmet. They struggle with that sometimes, especially I think like this when the character has hair, to get that helmet to fit over the head and still be in scale, not be oversized. So that was a good idea. And like I think Bjorn was saying, I'm sure people are going to want a couple of those those helmets. And I was reading something. I don't know if it's in that book because I haven't read it yet, the visual guide to the Acolyte. But and Ian, you might know this. Um, they're saying he might be the original Knight of Ren. Have you guys heard that? That he's somehow tied into that he might be the original Knight of Ren. No, a repaint on the arms of the new figure. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think this guy was kind of the star of the bunch. Of these three reveals, he was kind of the only new one, even though those card backs were all new. Glad we finally got him. We only had to wait a year, not 2 or 3, like typical. But good figure, good figure. I did grab him. I know Ian said he's gonna wait. Did any of you guys order him? I think Bjorn, you said you did. Bob, I don't know, Brian, if you're still here. Tech, Pinker, did you guys get in on this one? You're gonna wait? Let me know. He was gonna be the first Knight of Ren. Oh, okay. He was going to be, so he's not. I think the repacks and price increase is eventually going to bite Hasbro in the ass. Probably depends on how many new figures we get over the year versus how many repacks we get. Yeah, and I didn't grab it, but we can go there and kind of look at the wave. This wave, there was, what was it? The Padme, the Shakti, and the Stranger were new, but the I'm freezing up. The Vader, the Maul, and I'm missing one. They were repacks, right? I might pick him up when he hits the shelves. Cammy says, "Yep." Pass on that one too. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. We each have our own tastes. Maybe we're gonna wait till we see it in hand at the store on the peg, and then you can really look at it and go, It's a lot harder to say no to when you have it in hand. It's fairly easy to do it when it's just online because you could just click away and not look at it. But if you walk in that store and it's hanging there on the peg and you go, man, I better, you have second thoughts sometimes. I got 3 of the Padme, got several ideas. The Padme figure really looks good. It does. Which costume Padme? It's the Battle of Geonosis one in the white. The all white before she gets the midriff gets torn off. I have to admit I'm being priced out of the hobby. Are ya? It's going that way. It's getting tougher and tougher. Hopefully things kind of stable out. I've been seeing in the news that the tariff stuff's all kind of hopefully getting settled, and hopefully that'll bring some stability to the hobby, because it has been kind of all over the place. The Red Cobra guy looks amazing. Yeah, Tech, I'm cutting back. Yeah, me too. And speaking of cutting back, before she gets the abs, this is before that part, which I'm sure will be the next figure they do of her, right? Because they could reuse the whole thing except the chest or the waist. So Haya. The Crimson Order ready for battle. We got the Crimson Viper action figure. This is a repaint of the regular Viper. I did do a video on that Viper in blue. He's in blue. It looks to be the exact same figure, exact same accessories, exactly the same except in red. So you can army build this guy out in red. If you haven't got the other ones, maybe you missed the blue one. Maybe you prefer red over blue. Because I squad built the blue one, I think I'm gonna get 2 of these. I think that's where I'm at with this one. I am gonna get it. Haven't seen it actually come up yet. I've been checking Cool Toys and LT Cave. I haven't actually seen it go up yet for pre-order, but I think I'm only gonna get 2 of them to complement the Crimson Twins and the Crimson Guard, the regular sort of red guys. Just kind of have 2 of them in that army. Once the tariff goes down, I'll be able to get some of those Star Wars blockies. Yeah. Thankfully, there's a steady supply of reduced price TVC that I'm happy to shop for my custom fodder. Yeah. And that reminds me, I meant to get the Make a Slide. Yak Face, maybe we'll go there when we get through this. He had mentioned, excuse me, he had mentioned in one of his posts that Walmart's had the new wave at 16.99. If you and he said something like, and it typical, and he's right. If you don't mind getting bent cards, if you're an opener, you know, here they are at this price. They're less, but for sure, right? Almost 99% of the time, they're gonna come creased up, bubble smashed. They might even be off the card. You're going, you're using Walmart. But if you're an opener, why not save $4 or $5 a figure? We'll pull that up. I think it was this last wave, but they were at the old price. I think it was $16.99 rather than the $19.99. You need 3 to keep your collecting roll. I know. Well, that you got me there because I was actually thinking 2 to open and 3. Yeah, I put 1 min on card and then I opened 2. So yeah, actually 3. Yeah, I'm an opener. Yeah, Bjorn, that might be for you what Yakface was talking about. I think it was Walmart and it was the newest wave, but they were, he was like, if you get them, they're going to be messed up. They're not going to come well packaged at all. But if you don't mind, why not save money? Why not? It would be crazy to do that. I always kind of want that 1 mint on card to be the best one I can get. And I had already pre-ordered that Padme and the Shock T and the Stranger after I saw that, and I was like, oh, I didn't want to go back and cancel all those orders and then try to get those or buy those doubles. I just had to stop. The TVC Shriekhawk 4-pack can go for about 40 pounds currently, which I think is a bargain if you like Mandos. Yeah, that's a really good pack. The Shriekhawk pack, that's a really good pack. So yeah, this guy's up. Are any of you guys collecting the Haya Joes? I do. I've been doing the videos and they do fairly well. I think it's weird, when I look at the analytics of my channel, what usually does the best is the acid rain stuff. Those videos seem to jump out fast. The G.I. Joe stuff's kind of a slow burn. But is anybody else collecting the Haya Joes? Am I one of the only ones? I think Pinker, I think you're collecting them. Tech, I think you're collecting them. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for you, but I think you guys are. I need the Shock T from the Clone Wars setup. Yeah. Yeah, if the figure's still good, then I can work with it. Yeah, and usually they are. It's just the bubbles are crushed and, sometimes off the card. And that's when I order them full price. Why not take the discount, and get them cheap? I've been cherry picking the Haya Joes for favorite characters. Okay, so I'm guessing this is a pass for you, Bob, this guy here. Acid Rain does seem to be gaining a lot of traction online recently. I feel like it has. I cherry picked, Tech, you cherry picked the Joes too. I may start getting some Joes. The Vipers sold me the line. Okay. Yeah, the video I just did on the Trooper, the Cobra Trooper, I thought was a little bit better than this Viper. And that's another reason why I'm like, I only need a couple of these. I probably should skip it. But it's hard to because I was like, oh, I just need like 2 of them with the other ones because I did army build the other Crimson, the regular Crimson Trooper. So I thought these would be a good complement just to have a couple in the squad, maybe as like squad leaders or squad commanders or something. So yeah, this guy's up. He's got all the same gear, good articulation. I like these Joes. I was thinking when I did the April O'Neil video, these Haya Joes work really good with the Joy Toy military stuff. They're same scale, they match up, they seem to be in the same world. Rogue Hunts, welcome to the party. Thank you for stopping by. The Cobra Trooper is awesome. Yeah, the Cobra Trooper is really good. Yo, yeah, Rogue Hunter. Thanks for Rogue Haunts. Thanks for stopping in. I like this one with the mask or the helmet's faces are so with this line. Yeah, that's very true. Very true. But he does have a lot of gear here. But you know, basically, it's everything that the blue one had, just in red. It's got those guns there. The Cobra Trooper, I did clip the little piece off the guns, but I heated them up this time, and it was perfect. Just like a couple people mentioned, Pirates. Like, you know, he mentioned I didn't heat them up last time, and I cracked a couple of them, but this time I heated them up, and they were great. Nearly 3 a.m., so I'm going to catch the rest. Okay, yeah, Ian, thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching the videos today and commenting. I do appreciate it. Have a good night, and hopefully I'll see you in 2 weeks. The Hyatt Joe line looks great, but I have resisted jumping in on a new line. Yeah, and I can see why. I mean, they're not cheap. I noticed they have gone up in price. When the line started, what, 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. They were 25 bucks. And I think now they're 35. I'm not quite sure. Of course, it depends where you get them. If you get them from Calcus or LT Cave or from Cool Toys Club, you know, whoever you choose to get them from, it varies. But I think they're about 35 now, if I remember correctly. So they've gone up quite a bit, and they're not the easiest to get. It's not the easiest line to collect because of the sort of embargo on the United States. If you're here in the States or I think North America, so even the Canadian guys, or you know, in Central South America, it's mostly, I think, for Asia. But they are good, and they match up really well, like I was saying, with the Joy Toy military stuff. They, you know, same scale. They seem to look like they're in the same universe. They're totally compatible together, it looks like to me. And Joy Toy and Haya use that same ball joint at the wrist, so they're almost all identical with the articulation. Though I've noticed the Joes, it's not uniform. So some of them don't have a thigh swivel, some of them do. Some of them have a bicep swivel, some of them don't. Just kind of depends. But good figure. I still haven't seen this one up for pre-order, but it's got to be any day now. It's got to be any day now. All right, now we're going to talk about this, and I don't talk a lot of Chap May. I don't talk a lot of Leonard. I know Wilhelm loves these lines. I don't really collect them, but I saw this, and it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty fun. The Chap May, you know, Leonard stuff is reasonably priced. I saw this, and the first thing I thought of was, and we'll come back to it. Here's another shot of it with the packaging. Did any of you guys collect the DC Spin Master? I think he's like Killer Moth. I don't really know his name, but I do have this figure, and I thought, man, this would be perfect for him. But he can already fly. Why would he need a helicopter? I said, who cares? He just looks like this is his ship. So you know, if I find this, I'm probably gonna get it. You know, usually with the Chap May stuff, I'm guessing it can't be more than like 20 bucks. Have to go, Pinker. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. Thanks, Pinker. Always good to see you out here. Have a good night. Chap May is a pass for me. I do want that Dragonfly vehicle for my Micronauts. I want that Killer Moth figure. Yeah, I've got one. And he's fun. He's a lot of fun. He's cool. And he's not the easiest to get now, though. He's pretty expensive. I was lucky I got him when I did, you know, right at the Target, right on the shelf. The other figure I thought that really went well with that copter was this guy, Firefly. There's a couple of versions of this guy. There's like this metallic, a non-metallic version, and a metallic version. And I army built this guy. I painted his weapons, and I thought, you know, maybe there's some bad guy flying in this, and those guys are flying with him, and you know, it would be like a part of the army build. So I've got one of these guys, and I probably have like 4 of these and 2 of these. And again, they're kind of expensive now for Spin Master figures that were $7.99, but because the line's kind of ended now, they have gotten pretty expensive. But the first thing I thought of was these guys to go with this helicopter. But I think I would try to, I don't do a lot of customs, but I think I would try to paint this. I would try to paint this maybe black, the red painted black. But yeah, we never really talked Chat May or Leonard on here. I know Tech said it's pass. Yeah, I typically pass on all this stuff, but I saw this and it did look really cool. But I never find this stuff in the stores. I never see this stuff around. Maybe that Coswalt, the guy that Bob and Wilhelm talked to, he gets some of this stuff. I'll keep an eye out. Maybe he'll get this, and maybe that will be my first Chat May purchase. I've never actually bought anything Chat May or Leonard. That would be my first purchase. And again, I'd probably only do it if it was like 20 bucks. I want that Kilmar. Some of the Hacks figures would work with that shit too. Yeah, they would. You're right. The female like insect girls, or yeah, it's very bug like. I think there's a couple different things. That was just the first thing I thought of were these guys, because I've always really liked these guys, and I did try to army build them. This Target exclusive one, the metallic one here, was Target exclusive, so they had way too many of them. I'd go to Target and this would be the only guy there, so I just get one every time. I think I ended up with like 4 or 5 of them, and I think he's actually a little better than this one because of the metallic. He almost looks like a robot, or he's in armor, like a more metallic armor. But that was just the first thing I thought of. But you're right. There's some Boss Fight Studio, the insect girls that would fit with this thing too. Why not? All right, so that's the news. That's all I had news-wise. Thought we'd sit here. We'd talk a little bit about the last figure standing. I don't know if you guys have voted yet. This is the final 4 here. You can pick 2. The 2 that win this 4 will be, up in the championship, I guess, for the winner. I'll just do a quick poll. Drop it here in the comments. Out of these 4, which 2 did you vote for? I'll wait to see some of your responses, and then I will tell you who I voted for. I have participated in all the rounds, so I did vote already on this. And I think it's going to be revealed, if not tonight, while we're doing this, tomorrow. I think they're going to reveal who the 2 are moving on to the next round. I'll say, just like last year, I am a little bit disappointed in the selections. I think personally I prefer the March Madness because there's like 64 figures. We start with like 64. This started, I think, with 12 or 10, and it's down to 4 now, or at least last I checked when I took this slide a few hours ago. I wasn't really happy with who I was picking from, but I picked the ones I picked. Just because they win doesn't mean they will get made. No, it doesn't. Yeah. Luthen and Clea. Baze and Wolf Boy. Okay. And speaking of Boss Fight, the 3 BBT's exclusive fantasy figures are dropping now in China. Okay. So should be on the way to the States. Cool. Yeah. It said November. Remember, they kept saying fourth quarter. So we're pretty deep in the fourth quarter now. But yeah, I have a couple of those pre-ordered myself at BBTS. I voted for Luthen and Baze in this instance. Though I did vote for Clea. I forgot how to say her name again. In the round before. I haven't voted for this guy. So he's gotten all the way through without any of my votes. And I think, didn't he win last year? I can't remember who won last year. But you know me, I'm a big army builder, and I think almost every one in what we started with, the top 10 or 12, however many we started with. I don't really think there was an army builder in there. It was like individual characters, like these four. Um, and you could always make a character, right? An army builder if you choose. But because I like army building so much, I wanted like some troopers. I thought, but I we all collect differently. We all have different tastes. So I'm not that surprised. I mean, Bays, long overdue, long overdue. Um, Clea, I think she's riding high right now because of Andor season two. Just like Luthen, if they give us Luthen, they have to give us Clea. If they give us Clea, they have to give us Luthen. Those are kind of like, a master and apprentice, so to speak. Master spy and spy, or protege. So they kind of go together, right? Um, so we definitely need them. The wolf guy. I don't know where. I mean, we need lots of aliens, and why this alien instead of any of the other aliens. I don't know, except that they showed him to us during the Cantina HasLab. Because there's a lot of other aliens. If you go pick an alien, there's a lot of aliens to pick from. But this guy seems to be riding high. Army builders don't seem to do well in these Star Wars. No, they don't, Jeff. No, they don't. I was thinking, I know this is kind of mean, it's kind of harsh, but I'm always kind of disappointed when I see. You hope that people think like you, right? And you're like, oh, I really want this army builder. I hope everyone else wants it and no one else wants it, or at least not enough to make a dent in one of these polls, kind of like what you're saying, Jeff. And it reminded me of like when you go to the DMV. I don't know if you're not in the United States, you know what the DMV is, or you go to jury duty and you look around and you're kind of disappointed with all the people there. You're like, wow, I really am in my own world. And I guess I created my own world, so I have my own world wants, I have my own world needs, and I'm like, none of these figures are on my list, none of them. So I'm a little disappointed in that. I know that was kind of a harsh comparison, but like that kind of a thing where you're like, you go down there expecting something and it's complete opposite. You're in your own world and no one else agrees with, like everybody else wants to go another way. And you're like, how did I miss that? I'd rather have more aliens to complete the Rogue One crew. I think it's just the nature of these Survivor March Madness polls. They favor named characters. They do. They really do. Hope we get lots of alien Jedi next year on the TVC, given this year's theme. We really should, huh? They really should. The Battle of Geonosis. We should get bad guy aliens, and we should get the Jedi aliens. Kit Fisto, Kiadi Mundi. Some of the Jedi High Council's really bad need of rehashes and redos. But for me, I think I prefer March Madness over Last Figure Standing. But I participate in all of them. I really have no horse in this race. But I did vote for Luthen and Baze in this instance. And so I guess I hope one of them wins. But, like Bjorn said, it doesn't matter. This is a fan poll, so it really holds no power with Hasbro. But I do know, and they always say this, the TVC guys on YouTube and Instagram, they do watch. Mr. Stevie is watching this, and he probably voted too. So they are aware. Does it hold any weight? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Kiadi Mooney and Kit Fisto are high on my list. Me too. Me too. These Star Wars polls are kind of repetitive. I think it'd be nice if they divided them in categories, like one for aliens, one for droids, another for army polls. You're right. You're right. I think that's kind of why I like the March Madness more, because when you have 64 instead of 10, the field is much bigger, and it really has to do with single matchups. And so army builders seem to get a little bit farther into they might actually win a round or two, and then they die off, and it comes down to named characters. But you're right. It's a little stale, huh? The competitions, these are getting a little bit stale, um, in some way. But I still think they're fun, and it is good to participate and kind of see what other collectors want, because I am in my own zone, and I think how could someone want that? We need this, and then someone else would say, why would you want that? We need this, and everyone has their own wants and needs. My focus is on getting my favorite characters, then world building. Yeah, yeah, I gotta say, with the Padme, she's one of my favorite characters. That new Padme coming out. Um, Trying to think. Most of the characters that I want when I submitted for this are from the EU, because I'm an old head. So I want like characters from which they've been giving us little by little, like some like characters from the EU, like Timothy Zahn, the Timothy Zahn novels, and like the stuff that's not canon anymore, the legend stuff from the comic books and stuff like that. That's what I'm really after, which seems to be I thought it was at a time we were kind of like a major majority of the group of the collectors, but it seems it's gotten smaller and smaller as more and more shows and movies and cartoons and keeps going, that's kind of fading away. These polls also get standoffs between segments of fans, original, yep, versus prequel versus new. It's the same with Marvel fan polls, always breaking down into fans of mutants versus Avengers. Exactly. Exactly, Jabalong, yeah. March Madness should be better this year since previously high ranking characters have been made. That's true. That's true. You know what it is? It's kind of like when they do the voting for the Hall of Fame, for whether it's boxing or baseball, or they have a list, and you can only pick 4 or 5 off that list, and those 4 go into the Hall of Fame, and then there's now 4 empty spots that have to get filled. So there is the rotation there where new guys will come in that have never been on it before, keeps it kind of fresh. And I think you're right. This year, there were several figures from the March Madness that got through. They got made, right? Ventress almost won last year, or did win, right? No, she got made. Who cares if it wins or not? She got made. So that's really what matters in the end. So you're right, Bob. I think you're right. TBC tends to be more original trilogy focused. It seems like it. I've talked about this before, and no, I don't think any of us do it though. But when I look at Bantha Skull and I look at like Yak Face, a lot of those, guys, and they're collectors like us, they tend to want to build the scenes from the movie. So in order to finish a scene from a movie, you need to have certain characters, and so that's their motivation. A lot of the time is to, hey, if I'm gonna have the sail barge, I gotta have the guys that go with the sail barge. But I'm not necessarily a collector like that. I just want good figures, and I create my own story as I go. So I'm not very scene specific. For a while after Disney got Star Wars, the EU was still better, but then they made the final season of Clone Wars and Andor. Yeah, yeah, there's new fans, and there's a lot more lore now. And the EU, Disney's had Star Wars for 10 years, 12 years, 15. My son's 15, he's 3, so about 12 years, 12 or 13 years Disney's had it, and in that 13 years there's been a lot of new shows. There's been a lot of new shows and a lot of new movies, right? We've got, what, 5 movies? The 6th one coming. Countless shows. A lot more characters now. And, nostalgia. I'm EU. The EU is very nostalgic for me. Just like these shows, Rebels, Clone Wars, like you mentioned, they're all nostalgic for a younger crowd. So yeah, you're right. It's hard. Mara Jade won. Asajj was announced the next day. There you go. Yeah, that's what it was. And that's why I remember. Yeah, Ventress lost the competition, but she won the war because she actually got made. We need a Mara Jade really bad, a good one. I want figures I can customize with. The more customs I can think of with a figure, the better chance of me getting multiples. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So who do we want to win this then? Who do we want to win this? We got 4 to pick from. I'm hoping it's Baze. Just because he's long overdue, and we have his partner. I forgot his partner's name. We've had him for a long time. And finishing off the Rogue One team, you know, it's probably never going to happen, but he would go well with the Andor, the Jyn Erso. We've got his buddy. We need a Bodhi Rook, a Bodhi. We need Baze. We're closer along to that team than the Bad Batch, right? Or the Knights of Ren, or any other team. So I think out of these 4, I think Baze would be the one that I'd want the most. Let's see. Bob says, I wonder when we'll start getting figures from some of the other Star Wars Vision shorts. Yeah, because Black Series got a Vision figure, right? Excuse me. I think Ventress will still rank high in March Madness with their Bad Batch and Underworld look. Yep, very popular character. One of my favorites. Yeah, I'd love a Ronin. Yep, gotta make Luthen. He's like the linchpin of the rebellion. Yeah, and if you make Luthen, you gotta make Kleya. You gotta have her. So, yeah. So that's it. That's last figure standing. I think tomorrow. I think they're gonna announce the final 2 tomorrow. I think, if they haven't done it tonight. But yeah, I think Baze for me. Out of these 4, probably Baze, then Luthen, then Kleya, and then Wolf guy, Wolf face, Ariel, whatever. Yeah. Here, let's let me put my coffee down. I already spilt it once. I don't know if you guys can't see. It's like on my waist. I spilt it once all over me. Yeah, Kleya is the key, though I wonder how well she would sell. Yeah, and that's why I was kind of saying I was disappointed, because I'm not sure, besides our niche, you know, like the really hardcore, I don't know if Kleya is going to sell. I think aliens always seem to do well, so the Wolf guy probably would do well. Rogue One, I think, didn't we just celebrate the anniversary of Rogue One, or it's coming up? The movie's been out for a long time. Luthen, I like Luthen. He was one of the best characters in all of both Andor seasons. But I don't know if, you know, let's say an older guy is the most exciting figure. But I want him. And Luthen's ship, yeah, that I remember in the first season of Andor when Luthen ship takes on that Star Destroyer or whatever, the Empire ship. That was one of the best. That might have been the best scene or single scene in Andor season 1, period. I think 2026 is the anniversary. Okay, yeah, so next year it'll be 10 years. Yeah, so maybe, you know, I hate to say that. Maybe Hasbro will celebrate an anniversary for us for once. You know, maybe not. Luthen could also be a good versatile body. Yeah, could be. Yeah, maybe they can leverage it depends what version of Luthen, right? But the Jod, we were talking about Jod earlier, Jod Nawood from the Skeleton Crew, the jacket, you know, maybe there's something there they could leverage to get him done. Yeah, I don't know, but you're right. The ship was awesome. That was one of the best ships, and that scene was so awesome. When and the droid, right? The droid, or was it the ship that talks? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was the ship. It is Bob. Yeah, 10-year anniversary. Yeah, I think so. All right, let me move this real quick over here, and we're gonna go here. Let's do this. Boom. All right, we're back. Better than ever. Looks a little bit different. I've kind of got it opposite. But yeah, guys, that was all I had. Is there anything you guys want to look at? Anything you guys want to talk about? I have all night. It was pretty light on the news. I didn't think there was a lot of news. We are getting towards the end of the year. So hopefully, like Jabalong was saying, there's a lot of pre-orders that need to fulfill. Um, did I forget the new uh, King of Fighters stuff, or was that on the last show? I can't remember. I think it was. I was surprised that Baze moved through, but Saw didn't. Isn't Saw a more important character? He might be, and he's been in Rebels, he's been in Andor, he's been in Clone Wars, he's been in Rogue One, he's been on a lot of shows. Um, yeah, I yeah, I don't know. I personally, I think I'd rather have the Clone Wars version where he's young. He doesn't have all the parts, the robot pieces and stuff. Um, but I don't know. I'm sure they would do the live action version. But they do have several versions, right? The Clone Wars one, the Rebels one, the Rogue one, and the Andor. Um, but yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, Saw's always been pretty popular. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe he's on the list. I mean, when a guy appears in that many different shows, and they have four different outfits or three different outfits to choose from, it you would think that they could somehow get it done because they could reuse the head, the head sculpt or something. I always wonder how they go about that. They go, okay, we want to do Luthen, and then you look in the tools library, right, and you go, well, he had a overcoat just like Jod did, and his tunic was or his pants were like Cassian's, and then and you just like you do when you make a custom, right, Bjorn, you kind of go, oh, this kind of goes together, this, but they have the library of parts, and you would think, but that's the one thing about Star Wars, right? The characters, you can't always just use their a lot of them, the outfits are so different. It gets difficult to piece together stuff. Thinking of the Andor, uh, the Cassian Aldani mission, people were really upset because they reused the driver and his lower legs were wrong, but they weren't screen accurate. But I was happy just to get the figure, and the fact that he wasn't 100% screen accurate, I could overlook. But a lot of people couldn't, and they were upset about it. I army built that figure. I thought it was really good. But I know a lot of people weren't happy, but they did their best to leverage the parts to give us a character, but it wasn't 100%, so people got upset. You know how that is. It's hard to make everyone happy all the time. TBC won't get any figures for the anniversary. They didn't even make any for Phantom Menace. I was surprised that I missed that comment last time, didn't I? Sorry about that, Bjorn. Yeah, they didn't. They haven't really celebrated any of the anniversaries when they could have. And I don't know why. I don't know what the reasoning behind that could be. Like, oh, we just don't have time. And they say it takes 18 months to make a figure. The anniversary is coming. I mean, it's not like that's something that would move, right? It can't move. It's 10-year anniversary or whatever it is. And just to make sure one or two figures in a wave, I don't know how many waves they do a year, but if you just put one Phantom Menace in a figure for the 5 waves that they did that year, could have gave us 5 characters. Yeah, I don't know how that they miss that sometimes. I wonder whose call that is. If it's Disney's call or if it's Hasbro's call. We don't know, right? We don't know. It's got to come from Disney because Hasbro really works for them. I would think. I think that's how the relationship works, right? They pay for the license, and then Disney gives them the information for new characters or new things that are coming out, and so I'm guessing it's the top down. It's Disney, then Hasbro, right? That's got to be the pecking order. Black Series got anniversary figures. May not be a body issue, but a head issue with getting the actor likeness rights. Oh, yeah, could be, huh? Could be. Yeah. Kid Anakin is high on my list. Yeah. The last Vintage Collection one was pretty good, but they could use it could use an update with the new hips and everything, right, Bjorn? And then you would have a kid, and there's a lot of little Jedi kids that they could make. by just replacing the head. I always thought they should do that to young Boba Fett because they could create all those different clone outfits, on that body with that head from Camino and all the other stories that we saw in Clone Wars and Rebels and things. But yeah, that's those. I have the little alien ones. They must have been what, Legacy Collection. I have a couple of those. They come with the blinder helmets and stuff. Those are fun little figures. They're good. They're very dated now. But if they could do that again, with the new articulation and the new stuff, I think that could be fun. Let's see, what did I miss here? I'm just gonna go to Instagram here really quick and kind of look really quick. Maybe it was the Yak Face one. Let's go here. Let's go to this one. Let's see. Was it this one? No, I think it was actually on his page, Yak Face. I think it was actually here. I was going to show you guys that post. This one right here. Right here. This was the one I was talking about earlier. He says the new wave is for $16.97. So that's a good $3 less. If you're interested in saving some money. Oh, it looks like the link isn't working now. But that's a good price. That's the price we've been paying before the increase. And these are the newest figures. And it's a good deal. It's a good deal. Let me click on one of these individual links, see if it works. It's back up to 20. So it's back up to 20. It looks like it was a temporary thing. Maybe they caught on to it. Maybe they realized they priced it incorrectly. That's too bad. That's too bad. Well, hopefully you guys, if you caught in on it, if you were after it, if you saw this in real time, because this was just on Friday. So just a couple days ago. But that's too bad. I wish I would have saw that. But I saw it and I was like, I already got them. I used Amazon, so I get that credit and the free shipping. And I was like, what? I'm just going to do it. And I really only got, the Stranger, Padme, and Shaak Ti. I did not get these two. The Vader and the Maul. I passed. And I ordered one less than everyone. I think I only got 2 Shaak Tis. One to open and one to keep mint on card. And then I got 3 Strangers and 3 Padmes. So I have 2 to open. Probably give that third one to my son. So, specifically Kid Anakin. Oh, you want the Slave Anakin? Slave Anakin. Yeah. Why not? Why not? That would be a good one. I still think I have it. His Pod Racer. I think it still holds up. It's pretty good. Thought about hanging it from the ceiling over here. Maybe I will. Maybe that's a good place to put it. Because it's been in a tub for a while. I saw it the other day. I was like, man, I still like it. Still had a good paint job. A lot of fun. I really like the Phantom Menace. There was a poll on one of the YouTube channels, like, what was the better show? And it didn't seem fair because it was like Phantom Menace. And what was it? I can't remember what the show was. And I was like, I hate picking between them because, and it's just a poll, but I love Phantom Menace. A lot of people, I remember, I saw it, I think I saw it 2 or 3 times in the theater, but I've watched it millions of times. But I love that movie. I love it. Let's see. Let's go back to here. Wow. So I'm happy. It sounds like my microphone worked today. I was so mad after the last show. I was like, oh, I got to get a new microphone. I just, so instead of buying action figures, I bought a microphone. And then instead of making a video, I spent a couple hours getting this thing all hooked up. But hopefully I can get more active in the next 2 weeks and do some more videos. Like I said, I'm going to probably do a haul video. Let me show you the Cyberzoic stuff that I just got. Let's go here. So I mentioned earlier, this stuff just came, I guess, about 2 hours ago now. I did get the Razor Hound. Got this guy. Excited about this line, what could be. And then I got a couple of the figures here. Got the Fire Guard. Got the Argentus. Just one of each. I didn't. The only one I got multiples of was, I think it was called the Badlands one, which is not here. I got Dragonina, and this was the biggest item I got. This was the only dinosaur. I guess it's not a dinosaur. This guy. And I'll say, you know, the packaging is really, really good. Very clean. Got the Velcro window box. Very, very cool. I'm really excited to open these. In fact, I probably just open it all at once. I'm hoping the figures are good. They look really good. It's really hard to tell, you know, and a lot of times when they do these first runs, you know, this company, Creative Beast Studios, this is like their first humans, you know, that aren't dinosaurs. They do the dinosaurs so well, though. If these are even close to that, you know, we've got this is kind of what I was hoping with the Edge. You know, we've got a new player at 118. So we've got a new line. These guys could be sci-fi, they could be fantasy, whatever you want. Excited, man. I'm excited for these. And these two, I think it's been about a year at least. Cyberzoic stuff looks cool. Abby has been showing it off. Has she? I haven't seen her on Instagram. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I literally just got this maybe 2 hours ago. They used something for shipping called Amazon Ground. Have you guys ever heard of that? Amazon is like UPS Ground. Amazon has or FedEx Ground. It's called Amazon Ground. But it didn't look like an Amazon truck. But maybe there's a new shipper in the business too now. I don't know. But yeah, these are big, like really sturdy cardstock. It was packed really good. But yeah, that was the only really dinosaur. I got all the humans, and then that Smilodon and that Razor Hound, and that was it. I didn't get any of the other dinosaurs or anything, just because of the size of them, and I kind of just wanted the people. You know, I wanted the figures to put in my world. Abby did an IG live opening on it. Oh, she did. I missed it. Outer Multiverse today also had her talking about it and showing. Okay, yeah, I haven't been able to see the show yet. I haven't been able to see. Oh, she was on the World Makers. She was on that show. Oh, well, she is. She's in the crew, right? She's in the crew. I'll have to check that out. I'll probably check that out after this. But yeah, these came in just a few hours ago. So exciting. And it's weird, you know. I think it's been about a year. I don't know. Someone probably pull the date up. I could probably try to find it if I go to Kickstarter. Maybe I'll do that really quick. Let's see. But it's got to be at least a year, right? Since we backed this project. And they did a lot of stuff, right? There was a lot of dinosaurs, and this is only partial, right? Because there was other oh, I gotta log in here. Hold on one sec, guys. I need to log in really quick. There we go. There were other dinosaurs, like bigger ones, and other characters, other people. Let's see, where are we at? Show more pledges. Let's see it. There it is, Cyberzoic. Estimated delivery November of 24. So it's a year late, or a year from the estimate. So yeah, I've been waiting almost exactly a year from the original date. So they got it to us though, right? They got it to us, packaged really well. Haven't opened it yet, so I can't say if they're as good. They look really good though. They look really good. So excited for that. I'm glad we got another player at 118. Um, and you know, you mentioned Abby. She was the one that really was like, "Oh, this line's going to be great," and she really enabled me to get in on it and spent a lot of money looking at my post here, my pledge. Good thing I paid for that a long time ago. I don't have that kind of money to throw around now. Exactly 2 years. October 23. Okay. So we funded in October, November of 23. They thought it would be to us in 24, but we actually got it in 25. That's still earlier than Call Sign Longbow or Operation Recall, though. If I look, so that's pretty good. I mean, you know, we're Kickstarter now. We're you know, there's all kinds of factors into that, but they did well, and the product looks really good. That's packaging is so nice. I'm probably gonna that window box. I'm probably gonna keep that one, but I'll get rid of the other stuff, the carded ones and the Razor Hound. I'll probably tear that one up. But that window box one looks so nice. I might put it back in there when I'm done. You know, or when I'm done playing with it. Yeah, well, 1 year behind, 2 years since Kickstarter. Never put much stock though in expected dates. It's weird, right? Like some of them are, you know, well, the comic book ones and some of the book ones that I've done. Um, that last one I did the little teddy bear, hunting monsters. That dude was right on it, Mr. Buttons, the Teddy Monster Hunter. Um, he was right on it. I mean, it was like a month. I already got it. He was just right there. Um, yeah, and boss fight. I'm trying to remember some of the other ones I did. The Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. They weren't quite that long, but times were different then, right? Times were different. The tariff stuff wasn't going on. Um, the Kickstarter thing got really popular. There's so many of them now. And I imagine even though there's tons of factories in China, they're all busy, you know, so you got to get in line and you got to, you know, they have to have time to do your stuff. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I will say, you know, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I did end up going back to Big Bad and placing another Fresh Monkey Fiction order. I did. I got in there, said, you know, I better just do it. Just do it now. Pay for it now. Well, it won't be. I won't have to pay for it till it comes. But just place the order. They'll hold the stuff. It's going to come eventually. Worry about it another time. So I did go in and placed one more Fresh Monkey Fiction order on Big Bad. And while I was there, I grabbed an Acid Rain figure. It's in my pile of loot. So eventually I'll have that here. But I threw it in my pile of loot, hoping that Boss Fight Studio stuff is going to show up in this next month, and then I can have it all come at once. Save on that shipping. Yeah. So that's it. Did any of you guys, nobody else got the Cyberzoic stuff? So me and Abby and probably some other people. I know I'm not the only one. She obviously had hers first. Um, if she's already taking pictures and opening it, because mine, you know, a couple hours ago. So cool, man. Cool. Thank you guys for coming. I think that's the show. I don't have much else. I wish I did. We can go all night. I drink a lot of coffee, so I'm going to be up for a while. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Anybody have any ideas for the next show? It's always kind of difficult. I give a lot of credit to Bob and Audi. You know, it's hard to think of ideas, you know, topics. I was telling my wife last night, I was like, man, I don't, like, what are we going to do? Is this good enough? Is it enough? Is there any, you know, if there's anything you guys want to spend time on, let me know. The show is, you know, I can't do the show without you. You guys are part of the show. You guys are the show. So if there's something that you guys want to talk about, just let me know. Drop me a comment, shoot me a DM, whatever it is that you want to speak on. Be more than happy to talk about it, because this show is for you guys. It's for me to hang out with you guys and talk. I was almost tempted to get a beer tonight, and I thought I better not. I better not. We'll do coffee. I don't get too wild, but maybe maybe we'll do an extra long year-end one where we talk about the our favorites of the year, because that one I know we're gonna do. Um, but I noticed when I looked at the calendar, November, because of how it fell, like today's the third, today's the second, we're gonna end up doing 3 shows in November. You know, if we do every other week, that's a lot of shows. Usually it's only 2 in a month. This month it'll be 3, and that'll take us right up to December. And that's right when kind of the end of the year favorites, best, all those kind of those list videos come in. And so I thought it'd be really fun to do a list one here with you guys and kind of talk about favorite, figures of the year type of stuff. I shot you 2 pics just now. Oh, okay. Let's see. Can I look at it? Is it okay to look at it right now? Let me look really quick because I can't pull it up. I can't pull it up here on my laptop. Oh, Jabalong, you're in there too. Let's see. Oh, that's the Jod Nawwood. That's the ball joint. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you, Bjorn. That's good to know. Thank you so much. I'll send you a link on the Hallmark ornament if you want to check it out. Yeah, is that Star Trek, or is that Keepsake? It is. Okay, yeah. Yeah, my son gave me his list every year. He's When he was little, it's weird when they're little, right? And they give you a list. It's like, "Oh, that's sweet," and I'm going to try to do it. Now he's older and he gives me a list and I'm like, "Who does he think he is? Who do you think give me a list?" But he gave me a list and he had a lot of those Star Trek ships on it because he's really into Star Trek right now. We've been watching a Brave New World. Is that what it's called? Brave New World? I think that's what it's called. We've been watching that. We're on season 3 now. And those Mossberg ships, but I think someone else has it now. Um, but he asked for some of those. So that's probably, I'm probably going to, I always try to make dreams come true. I love Christmas. So, um, yeah, he asked for quite a few Star Trek stuff. So I'm going to try to do it for him. But we'll see. I think, do you guys know what I'm talking about? They're like die cast ships, and they're like on stands, and they're fairly large. You know, you display them on shelves, and he tries to do like stop motion with them and stuff. He has a little green screen that I've asked to borrow, but he never lets me borrow it. Yeah, I have bought all the Hallmark ornamented. Okay, they work great with 118. It's more expensive. Oh, is it? How much they usually cost? Just curious. Just curious. But yeah, guys, that's the show. That's it. I'm rambling now, and I'm just trying to keep you here because I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to go. I don't want to end the combo. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try to do a couple videos. These guys came today, so technically it's November. I don't know. Should I put them in my October haul? Why not? Why not? Um, yeah, why not? I've been reading a lot of comic books lately. Have you guys? I don't know. Have a stack of comic books that I've had for a long time that I just never got to. So I've been trying to read a comic book a day. They used to retail for 20, 30, but this one's 45. Okay. That's about as much as those ships. When I looked at them on Amazon, they're about 50 bucks a ship. About. So that is pretty expensive for an ornament. It's bigger though, and it has a sit-down arcade cabinet. Okay. Yeah. One of the traditions we have here in my house is we get one ornament a year and we write the date on it, and we go to the store together and we pick one out, or maybe something once given to us by someone, or we might make it. And because when I was poor, I was broke. In my little studio apartment, I had a little teeny fake tree, and my girlfriend, who's now my wife, would come over, and I only had like one ornament, and we thought it was funny, so we wrote the date on it, and then every year after that, we do the same thing, and now we've been together, 15, 16 years, and so now I have a lot of ornaments, but that's one of the things we do. It'd be cool to make that one the one for this year, although I'd probably have to give that one to my son, and he'd take it. But that's one of our traditions we do every Christmas. and it's pretty fun. You know, we went to, like, the ornament could be anything, because like one December her brother got married and they were handing out ornaments, and we're like, oh, like, there's our ornament for the year. Like it chose us, kind of a thing. And like, I think last year my mom at her like senior thing was making ornaments and gave us one, and I was like, oh, there it is. There's the one for the year. And then other times we've actually gone to the store and looked through them all, and oh, that's perfect, and we picked one out. So it just kind of comes to us. But it'd be cool to get a Star Trek ship on there. I know some people have Avengers and they have all kind. Most of ours are more like, like traditional. But it would be fun to have a Star Trek ship or arcade or something up there. So we buy our new ornaments in January when they're all on clearance. Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we usually pick one out. We go to Hobby Lobby or something, and or Hallmark, kind of a thing, or Target. Just kind of pick out the one that we want. But very cool, guys. Very cool. So I'll be back in 2 weeks. I hope to have more info. Maybe there being more news. It feels like the news is slowing down, so we're gonna need a good topic. Um, it might be good to break down. I was thinking maybe we'll break down one of the lines as we get closer to the end of the year. So maybe next 2 weeks, we'll break down the TVC and go, here's like the best figures from the TVC this year. And then the next week we'll do the Joy Toy Turtles, or we'll do the Cyberzoic, and or whatever it is. And leading up to that was the idea, was leading up to that show in December, where we go, okay guys, today's the day. What are our favorites? What's the top 10 of the year, kind of a thing. So that's the idea. Hope you guys will, come hang out with me as I talk about this stuff, because I didn't get everything. So I can only go off of what I got, and I know everything I got, you guys didn't get, and everything you guys got, I didn't get. So it'll be fun to talk about figures, and maybe I missed something that I shouldn't have, and, you will enable me to go, oh, I missed that one. I shouldn't have passed on that one, and we'll talk. All right. So good show, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I do appreciate it. I'm rambling. I'm just dragging this out. I'm just dragging this out. But thank you everyone for coming. I would run through the list here, but whenever I do that, I always miss people, and I feel really bad about that. So we had a couple people that haven't come by in a long time. Cammy was here. Jeff, Bjorn, Ian, Bob, Outer was here. Pinker, Tech 489, Rogue Haunts. Rogue Haunts, thank you for coming. I know I'm missing someone, and I don't want you to be upset that I missed you, because you all are special to me. Thank you for coming. I can't do the show without you. Man, who am I missing? I'm really flipping through this fast. I'm looking for an icon that I missed. Bjorn, I said your name right, Bjorn? I said Bjorn. Bjorn's always one of the first ones here. So thank you so much, guys. I do appreciate it. And for all those people that just watched, or you're watching on the replay, thank you. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, and now I got to go back to the bottom here. Cheers. Yeah, you have a good night, Jeff. I will see you 2 weeks, but you're always welcome to DM me, all of you. All right, I will see you on the next show. Bye now.